What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 14. So, we start this episode off. We have Quad and Anila having a good conversation. First, they talk about all Anila's hair. Honey, Quad is trying to teach her how to take care of her weavy, or her extensions, or whatever fancy words that they're using for weave these days. And then, of course, they drift into a conversation about Toya. We find out that Anila's house is going to be 1,400 square feet. Toya's house is 9,000 square feet. 14,000 square feet, excuse me. Toya's house is 9,000 square feet. And Quad is saying, well, do you think that maybe that's part of the problem with you and, let me turn this down. Sorry, y'all. She said, do you think that maybe that's part of the problem that's going on between you and Quad? And Anila said, not Quad, you and Toya. And she said, that might possibly be it. I've talked to Toya. I thought we had made up. I thought we were good. But ever since then, things have just been off. She don't call me like she used to. We don't hang out like we used to. When we see each other, it's like, hey, girl, hey. It ain't, hey, girl, hey, And it's I know things are off. I know we not good. I know we not good. So Quad was like, my biggest problem with Toya is that she just don't take ownership for anything. Like, it's never her fault. She never did it. She's always responding. She's always defending. She's never taking any ownership of her part in it. Which we know, yes, that's very much the case with Toya. She said, ain't nobody make Toya get on her Instagram and talk trash about my house. Like, nobody made her do that. And my response and everything I've done has been in response to what she started. I didn't start it. She did. Then we have Dr. Simone talking to Cecil. They getting ready to get on a Zoom call, but she said, honey, I got something to show you. And Cecil was like, oh, Lord, I know what that means. When y'all start talking about you got something to show me, I already know it's about to be some hoo-na-na and woo-hoo-hoo. Well, there's a news report about Lisa Nicole. Lisa Nicole, who is a fashion designer, owns a lab that was doing COVID testing, but there seems to be some sort of problem and backup with the lab. People not getting their test results back. They're getting tested in June. It's August and people still ain't got their results. And so there was a whole investigation and it was on the news. And Simone was like, this is on the news. This is a problem. Her name is on everything as it relates to this town hall. I'm really worried that the town hall is not going to go through. That's something, it ain't going to happen because, first of all, I'm concerned about this situation. Like, something ain't right with this. But second of all, I'm very much concerned with the whole, how this is going to affect the town hall, she said. And the last thing I want to hear is Heavenly talking about something, I told you so. But Lord, she did tell us. So next we see Heavenly is doing one of her confessionals and she gets the information. Honey, she gets on the three-way call with Quad and Jackie. And of course, the call, y'all know, Heavenly said, I ain't gonna have a whole lot to say. I'm gonna keep it to myself, but I told y'all something wasn't right. I told y'all something wasn't right in this whole situation. But anyway, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, honey. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Then we see Contessa. Now Contessa is cooking dinner and on the phone with her life coach. Listen, Contessa, what was you cooking? Because I feel like I saw you put a whole stick of butter in that pan. Now listen, some recipes call for a whole stick of butter. I cook with a lot of butter. I was just wondering what the hell you was making, because it seemed like every time Scott made you mad or every time something happened, you put some stick of butter in that pot. You put more stick of butter in that pot. You put more stick of butter in that pot. Anyway, Scott comes home while you talking to your life coach, and Scott says, listen, if this is a private conversation, I can step out. And she's like, no, you can stay. That's fine. And the life coach is talking about how Contessa is really nice and she's not nagging and she's not, she's not a pest or whatever. And Scott is like, who don't nag? Who ain't a pest? And Contessa was like, oh, so that's what I do. That's what I nag. And he was like, I mean, she said, you can't never come in when there's a compliment. You can't never give me the compliment, but whenever somebody got something negative to say, you always got something to say. You always got something to say. And Scott was like, I just got home from work. Ain't nobody got time for this. So then she says to him, why did you get married? I mean, why did you get married? And he was like, I wanted to share my life with somebody. I wanted to build a family with somebody. Like, you know. And she was like, well, because I just don't understand. She said, listen, I love you and I want this to work, but I don't know what to do anymore. She said, you know, you don't want to go to therapy, and that's fine. He said, well, I've been talking to a life coach. She said, you've been talking to a life coach? He said, yeah, I've been talking to a life coach. I mean, she ain't charging me nothing, but, you know, somebody I can talk to that listens to me. She said, so you have a life coach, somebody that you can talk to that will listen to you but don't charge you no money? Baby, that's not a life coach. That's a friend. That's a friend. That's what friends do. Friends listen to your problems and don't charge you no money. Friends give you advice and don't charge you no money. That is a friend, sir. This is not a life coach. And you said you've been talking to this woman for months. Now, you never mentioned it to your wife. You never said nothing to your wife. So there are a couple of red flags in that whole conversation, Scott. First of all, you ain't told your wife nothing about this woman. Second of all, the fact that it's a woman that you ain't told your wife nothing about. And that's not to say that men can't have female friends. But let's be clear. Something is a little off with this whole scenario. Y'all know it. Y'all feel it. I feel it too. So does Contessa. Scott, the other thing is, sir, what kind of things you telling this other woman that ain't charging you no money to hear your problems? Okay? Because, see, that is how things evolve. Then next thing you know, y'all going to be going out to eat so y'all can talk. Then you're going to be going back to her place for a nightcap because y'all closed down the restaurant so you can talk. Then she going to give you her shoulder to cry on because you've been talking so much you done got emotional. Next thing you know, y'all fall into bed. And next thing you know, 6 months later, you having an affair. See, that is dangerous. Now, if you was talking to somebody who was licensed, a therapist, somebody who does this, that's another conversation. But it sounds like you were on a slippery slope, sir. And when Contessa called you on it, your ass got up and stormed out of there. That's another red flag, Scott. That is another red flag. You got your ass up and you stormed out. I ain't got time for this. I ain't doing this shit tonight. See, Scott, I like you, sir, but something ain't clean in that wash. I'm just gonna have to call a spade on that one, sir. Then we have the town hall. Now, the town hall is mostly virtual. They do have some people in-house. And, of course, all of the ladies are there. Quad is a moderator alone. And Dr. Heavenly speaks. Dr. Contessa speaks. It seemed like it was a really, really nice event. It really does. And it was all about getting out the vote. All the ladies went live from their personal, social media. And it seems like it was a really, really positive event. And it went really well. And I'm here for it. Listen, when you write, you're right. And when you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing, I'm here for it. And then the ladies came together and they made that thing happen. And I'm here for it, okay? Then afterwards, Dr. Simone said, listen, Lisa, you need to go on and just talk to the ladies and go on and just make this thing happen, because you already know what they thinking. They talking. Just go ahead and take the bull by the horn and answer their questions and address the elephant in the room. So Lisa tries to explain what had happened with this lab situation. So basically what she did was she had a lab to do COVID testing, but she ain't had no equipment. She had no equipment. So then she had to outsource the COVID testing. And y'all know when that thing was going on, everybody and their cousins, so it was getting backlogged because you're outsourcing. And she said, well, we just hadn't got our equipment in yet. Now, how about if you ain't had your equipment and you shouldn't have been doing no testing? How about that? How about no equipment, no test? And then she said, well, we've been totally, cooperating with the attorney, with the state attorney general, and everything is fine, and everything is okay, and we're good. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything illegal. Now, Dr. Heavenly, I will admit, Dr. Heavenly said, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on this one because I already know how this thing go. Simone said the same thing. Simone, see, you can't, when you're dealing with people that's in medicine and this is what they do for a living and they know all about testing and outsourcing and all that, girl, you can tell that to somebody like me who won't know no better. But they wasn't buying it, and so because they ain't buying it, I ain't buying it. Because I figure if they know, they know. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with them because they know, and they ain't buying it. And they say that it's some foo-ha-ha and some fugazi stuff that you giving them, Lisa Nicole, and they ain't buying it. But they let it go. They let it go. They said, listen, are you under criminal investigation? She said no. And I figured that's all everybody needed. They was like, okay, good. If you ain't going to jail and my name ain't associated with you, then I guess we just going to have to make it happen. And that's fine. So we also found out that the ladies are going on a girls trip. It is just for fun. It is not for no spiritual healing. It is not for no deep dark situation. It is just to go and have a good time. And Jackie and Simone are sponsoring it, and it is what it is. Okay, it's a road trip because it's still during COVID. Ain't nobody, they flew to DC, but that was different. They getting in the RV this time. Okay. So while they're at dinner, Toya and Anila end up having a conversation because Anila, some comments, y'all know how they are. They make a little snide remarks and things like that at the table. And so Anila is talking to Quad, and Quad is trying to, it was Quad and somebody else, and they're trying to get her to talk to Toya. And as they're talking, Toya walks up, and Toya was like, "Do you want to talk?" And Anila's like, "Well, I've been trying to talk to you, and you won't talk to me." And she's like, "Well, what's going on? Let's talk." And she said, "Well, I mean, I thought we had made up. I thought we were good, but you don't talk to me. You don't call me anymore." And of course, Toya is giving that whole passive aggressive, but we are good. We did talk. We are good. And then Toya started talking about, "But you've been talking about me." And Anila was like, "You have been talking about me. Like, I haven't been talking about you in a bad way. I've been talking about you to other people to find out what's wrong and how we can get it and how we can fix our friendship. I haven't been dogging you out and dragging you through these streets." And of course, Toya was like, "I don't care. You was talking about me. Talk is talk and talk is talk." So Anila ends up huffing and puffing her way out of there, honey. She did give a very dramatic exit, okay? And Toya was just not here for it. She was like, "Girl, the actress, okay? The actress of it all." Then Toya and Quad get to talking. And Toya finally apologizes, even though she kept calling Quad's house an apartment. But she does end up apologizing. And Quad said, "Listen, that's all I wanted from you from the beginning. All I wanted was the apology. So we good. We can move this train right along and we good." Now her and Anila still ain't good because Anila huffed and puffed and switched her way on out of there, honey. But her and Quad are in a better place. They good to go. So everybody is meeting up, for the exception of Heavenly and Contessa. Everybody is meeting up at Jackie's spot so that they can be picked up. I'm assuming that they have to pass right by Heavenly's house to get where they're going, which is the reason why ain't none of them meet up at that's where it was the central meeting spot. But let me rewind a little bit. I don't forgot. Let me rewind a little bit. Anila had a conversation with Jackie, Dr. Jackie. And once again, she's talking about Toya and how she can make things work. Because Jackie wasn't at the event, honey. She was on call. And so she's kind of bringing Jackie up to speed and letting her know what happened and how things went down. And Jackie's giving her advice and telling her, "Go talk to Toya and go to her sincerely and, put it all on the line." And Anila is like, "Well, I did all that. And Jackie said, "Well, listen, then maybe it's just time to move on. People come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Maybe this is just your season and it's over." I said, "Damn, Jackie." Jackie said, "Listen, I don't know what else you want from me. If you tried everything I got and it ain't working, then maybe y'all just need to move on from this thing. Because, hell, I don't know. Okay? My degree is not I am not a psychiatrist, okay?" And then they pull out Jackie's products. She's starting her own skincare line that's catering to, African Americans as far as, sunscreen and SPF protection, because we tend to think we don't need it, okay? We don't, y'all heard all the myths. We don't sunburn and we don't do this and we don't do that. So we saw her testing some of her products, and I'm sure I think the pre-sales are already available. I think somebody was telling me. Then we're getting ready for the trip, okay? So we all show up, honey, and everybody is there. That daggone Lisa Nicole done showed up in the she just showed up in the RV talking about some she driving, but nah, it's her RV, but baby, she ain't driving nowhere. Cause listen, won't none of them get ready to get on that bus with Lisa Nicole. They was like, "I'll take me a Uber." So they are on the bus, honey. They get to what's her name? Dr. Heavenly's house, and Contessa gets on the van. And they are riding right along, and I thought they was doing pretty good. And next thing I know, somehow or another, Dr. Heavenly done got into the argument with Lisa Nicole, and baby, everything that Heavenly wanted to say at that town hall meeting, she let it all hang out. Do you hear what I'm telling you? She told that woman how wrong she was and everything she did wrong, and how she is a crook and a fraud, and how her lab ain't this and her lab ain't that. And baby, Lisa Nicole told Dr. Heavenly she could get off of her van. Dr. Heavenly said, "I will get off. Let me off right now, right here in this place." And baby, it looked like Dr. Heavenly was lunging for that woman. So we're going to see how this goes, because y'all know that's where they left it. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments, honey. Peace.